Asuri guna, Daivi guna. What is the relevance of the study on the divine attributes? We can see the significance in the light of Swamiji's words. Swami Vivekananda once said, we find that in the Karma Yoga lectures. Swamiji said, every thought projected from every brain goes on pulsating, as it were, until it meets a fit object that will receive it. Any mind which is open to receive some of these impulses will take them immediately. We run therefore a twofold danger in doing evil. First, we open ourselves to all the evil influences surrounding us. Secondly, we create evil which affects others. Maybe hundreds of years hence. In doing evil, we injure ourselves and others also. In doing good, we do good to ourselves and to others as well. And like all other forces in man, these forces of good and evil also gather strength from outside. Thus we see that it is a moral, social imperative that we delve into these things of practical relevance on good qualities and evil tendencies. Presently, we will dilate upon the divine attributes as described in the Bhagavad Gita. The Adhyaya, the chapter, 16th chapter begins like this. Abhayam sattva samshuddhir jnana yoga vyavasthitihi danandamascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam. The first quality, abhayam, fearlessness. Abhiruta, Bhagavan Shankara, he writes one word commentary on that. Abhiruta. Abhiruta means fearlessness. Bhagavad Ramanujacharya, here he says, Ishta anishta viyoga sanyoga rupasya dukkhasya hetur darshanajam dukkham bhayam tan nivrittihi abhayam. What does he say? The cause of the association of good things and dissociation from bad things gives fearlessness. Fearlessness comes from association with what is comfortable and safe, and dissociation from that which is detrimental to us. Why this abhayam has been taken up as the first quality here? Because that is vital to one's own existence. Swamiji says, if you read the Vedas, you will find this word always repeated, fearlessness, fear nothing. Fear is a sign of weakness. And again, we see Swamiji saying, if there is one word that you find coming out like a bomb from the Upanishad, bursting like a bombshell upon masses of ignorance, it is the word fearlessness. Fear is the greatest sin, my religion teaches. Swamiji also said at one point of time, the moment you fear, you are nobody. Especially all the noble devotees here, they have all faced the circumstances in life, so they understand the significance very well. What Swamiji says, the moment you fear, you are nobody. Now, this is okay. You heard about what Shankara said, what Ramanuja said, what Swamiji said. But now a question comes up in mind. I have fear. Just by reading this, Swamiji says fearlessness is the greatest quality. Fear is the sin my religion teaches. That is all okay, but I am in fear now. How will I get out of that? That will be the question. Here, Swami Vivekananda has a very good insight. Swamiji says, a word for you, be moral, be brave, be a heart-whole man, strictly moral, brave unto desperation. Cowards only commit sin, brave men never, no, not even in mind. Fear leaves those who earn their livelihood by. Fear comes to those who earn their livelihood by unethical means. Swamiji says this. Or who cause harm to others. Therefore, desist from all such behavior. This is the insight we want. If Shastra says Abhayam is the first Divya Guna, that is fine. But how to get that Abhaya? Swamiji says, fear comes from bad things you commit. Those who earn their livelihood by unethical means, they are in fear. And those who harm others, they will be in fear. If we can remove these two, obviously there won't be any fear. In Ayurveda, there is a very insightful shloka. It says, who can sleep well? Who can sleep well? It says, Sukham shete satyavakta, Sukham shete mitavyayi, Hitabhuk mitabhuk chaiva, Tathaiva vijitendriyaha. Who can sleep well? One, he who speaks truth. There will be no tension in him. He will not be scared that if at all that things comes out, the tension won't be there. He will be free, carefree. He can sleep well. Sukham shete satya vakta. Sukham shete mitavyayi. He who spends moderately. He who is cautious in spending. Not a spendthrift at all, but he should be cautious. Hitabhuk mitabhuk chaiva. He who eats moderately, only that which is compatible to his stomach, he will sleep well. So, this unethical, if someone is doing something unethical, he can't sleep well. Because that fear will be there inside. So, Swamiji has given a wonderful message here. After that, in some other place, we read Swamiji blessing all of us. This is also equally important because we also want to attain to Abhaya. In those ages, there were Brahmajna Purushas who could bless their disciples, even as Yajnavalkya did. Yajnavalkya taught Brahmajnana. He imparted Brahmajnana to Janaka, and at the end he said, Abhayam vai praptosi Janaka. You have attained to fearlessness. The Guru blesses him. Who will bless us? No worries. Our Swamiji is there. Swamiji has given a package of blessing. Whoever can tap into that will receive that blessing. The blessing is here. I bless you all with a full heart. May Mother enshrine herself in your hearts as strength, the support that is fearlessness. May she make you all fearless. These are the words from none other than Swami Vivekananda. The second guna, sattva samshuddhi. Sattva means here internal organ. Internal organ. That is mind. Sattva samshuddhi, purity of mind, cleanliness in mind. That is what is meant here. Bhagavan Shankara says, Sattvasya antahkaranasya samshuddhihi samvyavahareshu paravanchana maya nritadi parivarjanam shuddha sattva bhavena vyavaharaha ityarthaha. The English translation, purity of the mind, mentally avoiding fraud, trickery, falsehood, etc. in dealings. That is honest behavior. This is how Bhagavan Shankara explains it. What we have to observe here is this. The quality is sattva samshuddhi, means purity of mind. But Shankara explains it as honest behavior, absence of fraud, trickery, falsehood, etc. in the dealings. He is not talking about mind at all. He is talking about how you deal with others. That is the touchstone of the level of purity you have achieved. If you claim that I am very clean and pure inside, how will people know? We are not bothered about what you are inside. We will gauge you in your dealings. How practical Shankara's explanation is. Bhagavan Ramanujacharya says, Sattvasya antahkaranasya rajastamobhyam asamsprushtatvam. Ramanuja says, there should not be a taint of rajas and tamas, rajoguna and tamoguna. Only sattva guna should be preponderant. Only sattva guna cannot be there. It is impossible. Whatever is there in this phenomenal world is always constituted of three principles, sattva, rajas and tamas. So when we say this, when Acharya say this, what he means is the preponderance of tamas. Swamiji, we'll have some insight from Swamiji. Swamiji says, this world will always continue to be a mixture of good and evil. Our duty is to sympathize with the weak and to love even the wrongdoer. This world is a grand moral gymnasium wherein we have all to take exercise so as to become stronger and stronger spiritually. That means our dealings towards others will bear out how much clean and pure we are within. Third quality, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, persistence in knowledge and yoga. Shankara says, Jnanam Shastrataha Acharyatascha Atmadi Padarthanam Avagamaha Avagatanam Indriyadyupasamharena Ekagrataya Swatma Samvedyatapadanam Yogaha Tayoho Jnana Yoga Yoho Vyavasthitihi Vyavasthanam Tannishtata Esha Pradhana Daivi Sampat Satviki Sampat Yatra esham adhikritanam ya prakritihi sambhavati satviki sa uchyate. The English meaning of that: Jnana means knowledge of such subjects such as the self, learned from scriptures and teachers. This is jnana. Hearing about Atma, Brahma, Manaha, Indriyani, etc. from the teachers, also learning from the scriptures. These two, this acquisition of knowledge by two means, it is important to note this. That is why I emphasize this. Shankara always brings in Acharya, Guru. Shastrataha Acharyatascha. That is necessary. Because if someone says, even without Guru, I will somehow gain knowledge. Nowadays it is so easy. You browse on the net, you type today, after you go there and you type Daivi Sampat, you will get everything on the net. Can net make you pure? Can the internet data, the data which you get from there, can you inspire you? No. You need a person. Only a person can transmit the inspiration to another person. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya is always careful to mention that Acharya, Guru. Next. Yoga means making those things that have been learnt matters of one's own personal experience through concentration by means of withdrawal of the organs, etc. Let us see that in simple language. What is the quality? The quality is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Jnana, we saw, knowledge of the scriptures and also hearing from the Guru. That is Jnana. What is Yoga? Acharya writes, making the matters of learning one's own personal experience. It should become a matter of one's own personal experience. That is yoga. These two should go together. We have to observe this. We have to give some attention here. The modern academic world says, you learn. You get the data. Nowadays, students can give their assignments from a bot, ChatGPT. Only you should give a right prompt. It will give wonderful answer result. Assignments can be submitted. Is that learning? Acharya says, you learn and make it your own also. This is exactly what Swamiji said, assimilation of ideas. Shankara has also said that in these terms. This is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. If we continue the translation there, it comes like this. This is the persistence, steadfastness in those two, knowledge and yoga. Then Shankaracharya says, this is the principal divine characteristic. This is something surprising, at least for us, we people who are ignorant. It comes as an astonishment to us that Shankara says, this is the main Daivi Sampat. What is it? Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. That is why in the Taittiriya Upanishad we read, in the Shikshavalli, Ritancha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha, Satyancha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. It goes on like this. Damascha, Shamascha. You do whatever you perform yajna, you perform Indriya Nigraha, Dama, you perform Shama, Mano Nigraha, and then you do whatever, all the services. It is all okay. But Swadhyaya Pravachanecha, along with every one of this, Swadhyaya is emphasized. Thus we get to know that Jnana is very, very essential. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, Shankara says, this is the Esha Pradhana Daivi Satviki Sampat Pradhana. Next, Danam, charity. Shankara writes, we have This Sattva Samshuddha Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, Ramanuja says, Prakriti Viyuktatma Swarupa Viveka Nishtha. It translates to something like this. We'll go for a free translation. Prakriti Viyukta Atma Swarupa Viveka Nishtha. That means you should understand what Atma is, which is different from the Prakriti. Or in an even more simple language, the spirit, the consciousness is something very much different from the dead matter. Actually, in our Indian culture, there is no dead matter at all. Everything is imbued with sentience, consciousness. Anyhow, but for the transactional purposes, we have that this is an innate object and this is a consciousness, sentient being. In that sense, it is said that the Atman, which is distinct from the non-sentient things, there one should have nishtha. One should be always focused on that. That is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Then Danam, charity. Bhagavan Shankara writes, Yatha Shakti Samvibhagaha Annadinam. English, distribution of food, etc., according to one's ability. Food, etc. means you may offer money, you may offer some, say, uncooked rice, or someone may offer, say, he has donated computers. Not even that, he can donate his time. He can come and serve in the, say for example, mutt. Weekly once he will come and serve. That is the dana. What dana? Pratibha dana. He offers his skill and talent. Whatever it may be. Shankara says, Yatha Shakti Samvibhagaha. According to your capacity you should do. Say for example, one is capable of giving 1 lakh rupees for feeding poor people. And he gives only 10,000 rupees. Let us say. It is not commensurate with what he earns. So that is partial dana. Shankara emphasizes that. He points out that. Bhagavan Ramanuja says, Nyayarjita dhanasya patre pratipadanam. Ramanuja adds nyaya. You should have earned the money by ethical means. Anyaya na nyayarjita dhanasya patre pratipadanam. Patre means you should give it to the fit person. Why that is mentioned? Say someone is a close friend to him, or let us say he is a partner in his business. So he makes a donation of 10,000 rupees to his child. This is fully calculative. It is a calibrated move. That is not dana. See the subtle points, how acharyas have thought out. That is why in the Taittiriya Upanishad we read, Shraddhaya deyam, Ashraddhaya deyam, Shriya deyam, Hriya deyam, Bhiya deyam, Samvida deyam. How one should give? It says, give with honor, Shraddhaya deyam, Ashraddhaya adeyam, give not with dishonor. Shriya deyam, give according to your wealth and prosperity. Hriya deyam, give in modesty. Be humble. When you make a charity, don't be arrogant. Bhiya deyam. That means, bhihi means bhaya. You should be diffident within. Diffident means one should have a dash of fear is necessary. He should be scared about, did I commit any mistake? While I was handing over this gift to that poor man, did I commit any mistake? Did I show any disrespect to him? That fear should be there. Samvidadeyam. It should be given with friendly attitude. Samvit means friendship. Maitri. These are the insights we get from Upanishads. Swamiji says, never vaunt your gifts to the poor or expect their gratitude, but rather be grateful to them for giving you the occasion of practicing charity to them. Swamiji again said, do not stand on a high pedestal and take 5 cents in your hands and say, here, my poor man. But be grateful that the poor man is there, so that by making a gift to him, you are able to help yourself. It is not the receiver that is blessed, but it is the giver. Be thankful that you are allowed to exercise your power of benevolence and mercy in the world, and thus become pure and perfect. All good acts tend to make us pure and perfect. Swamiji says, a householder who does not struggle to get wealth is immoral. If he is lazy and content to lead an idle life, he is immoral, because upon him depend hundreds. If he gets riches, hundreds of others will be thereby supported. What does it mean? It means Grihastha is the adhara for all other ashramas. Brahmachari depends on the Grihastha. Grihasthas, of course, depend on him. Vanaprasthas depend on him. Charamashrami, sannyasis depend on him. Everyone depends on the householder. That is why it is his blessed duty to earn money, and earn money abundantly. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Annam bahukurvita. He has to amass food because he has to distribute. Swamiji says, the householder is the center of the life and society. It is a worship for him to acquire and spend wealth nobly. For the householder who struggles to become rich by good means and for good purposes is doing practically the same thing for the attainment of salvation as the anchorite does in his cell when he is praying. For in them we see only the different aspects of the same virtue of self-surrender and self-sacrifice, prompted by the feeling of devotion to God and to all that is His. Mahanarayana Upanishad in the Krishna Yajurveda, it says like this: Danamiti sarvani bhutani prashagam santi danannati duschcharantasma danam dane ramante. All creatures praise selfless gift as supreme, for there is nothing more difficult to perform than giving selfless gift. Therefore, seekers of the highest good delight in giving selfless gift. Next, damaha. Control of the external organs, the sense organs, the 5 sense organs and the motor organs, all the external organs. Controlling this is known as the dhamma. Bhagavan Shankara says, Bahya karananam upashamaha. Antahkaranasya upashamam shantim vakshyati. Here only the Bahya Karanopashama is mentioned because Antahkaranopashama will be said later. Control of the external organs, the control of the external organs. This is what Shankara says. Ramanuja says, Manasaha vishayaun mukhya nivritti samshilanam. To withdraw the mind from the sense objects. Samshilanam means practice, abhyasaha. The constant, persistent practice of withdrawing oneself from the outer sense organs, sense objects, objects of pleasure is known as damaha. Next, yajnaha. Yajnaha, sacrifice. Shankara says, Shrautaha Agnihotradihi Smartascha Deva Yajnadihi. Agnihotra, etc., sanctioned by the Vedas, and sacrifices in honor of gods, and others sanctioned by the Smritis. These are yajna. What does it mean? Sacrifice simply means to offer. Offer what? Offer whatever you have. And that should come according to the prescribed method. That is yajna. Ramanuja says, Phalabhisandhi Rahita Bhagavad Aradhana Rupa Mahayajnadhyanushtanam. Phala Abhisandhi Rahita. Without a thought towards the results. Bhagavad Aradhana Rupa, as a worship to God. You should perform Mahayajnadi Anushtanam. What is Mahayajna? There are Pancha Mahayajnas. There are Pancha Mahayajnas which every householder, in the earlier scriptures we find a Brahmana or the Trivarnikas should perform. But in the modern context, anyone who wants to achieve internal perfection should perform this. That's all. What are the Pancha Mahayajnas? Adhyapanam Brahma Yajnaha, Pitriyajnastu Tarpanam, Homo Daivo Balirbhauto Nriyajno Tithipujanam. Swadhyayaha Brahma Yajnaha. That is the Brahma Yajna, the study of scriptures. That is a Yajna. Why? You have to spend your energy, time. You have to shut out the outgoing tendencies and sit at a topic. It is not an easy job. It is a Yajna. It is Brahma Yajna. Actually here it is Adhyapanam is said. Adhyapanam means teaching. But it presupposes that he has studied, or else how will he teach? That is, it comes into that. Teaching and study and teaching is Brahma Yajna. Pitru Yajnastu Tarpanam. Pitru Devata Tarpana has to be given. Homo Daivaha. Daiva Yajna is performing Homa, offering certain ingredients in this sacrificial fire. Homo Daivaha. Balir Bhautaha. Bhuta Yajna means offering to other beings. In the home, you might have seen, they offer, once the food is cooked and it is offered to the god, it is taken about to be offered to the crows or outside to some beings. That is Bhuta Yajna. Bhuta means not some other which are spooky things. No. Here Bhuta means beings. Other beings, you have to offer something to them. Then Nriyajnaha Atiti Pujanam Panchamaha. Atiti Pujana is called as Nriyajna. In the Gita, 4th chapter, we find several types of yajnas mentioned. We will just make a mention and go ahead. Daiva Yajna, Brahma Yajna, Indriya Sanyama Yajna, Atma Sanyama Yajna, Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajna, Swadhyaya Yajna, Jnana Yajna, Pranayama Yajna, and Prana Yajna. In the modern age, Swamiji gave the twin ideals of renunciation and service. Yajna. He said, the national ideals of India are renunciation and service. Intensify her in those channels and the rest will take care of itself. Swamiji, that is why he framed the motto of Ramakrishna Mission as Atmano Moksharthan Jagadhitaya Cha, for one's own liberation and for the good of the world. Next, Swadhyaya, scriptural study. Acharya Shankara writes, Rigvedadi Adhyayanam Adrishtartham, study of the Rigveda etc. for unseen results. What are the unseen results? It brings merit, punya. Have you seen punya? No. That is mentioned as adrishta. Unseen results. Actually, adrishta is a technical term of the Mimamsakas. For our practical purpose, let us take that. It gives merit, and that is adrishta. Ramanuja writes, Sa vibhutehe bhagavataha tad aradhana prakarasya cha pratipadakaha kritsnaha vedaha iti anusandhaya vedabhyasa nishtha. One should come at the understanding, conviction that the entire Veda propagates the nature and stature of God. Sa vibhutehi, along with all his glories. And tad aradhana prakarasya, the means to worship God. This is the content of the entire Vedas. Having come to this understanding and conviction, one should devote oneself to Vedabhyasa, that is Swadhyaya. In the modern context, not all may be able to read the Vedas, study the Vedas. We can understand that as study of holy books, sacred books, which make us more and more fulfilled, fulfilling our ultimate purpose of life. Such books can be taken as scriptures. For example, today we have wonderful scripture, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's Kathamrita. In the Kannada it is Vachana Veda. In the English it is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And if you want some more tough stuff, you have complete works of Swami Vivekananda and Holy Mother's life and message. These are all the scriptures of the day. Tapaha. Next, Daivi Sampat is Tapaha. Tapaha means austerity. There are so many details about that. We would suffice with one major input from Mahabharata. It says, Manasaschendriyanam cha hyaikagriyam paraman tapaha. Focusing manaha and indriya, mind and all the senses, to the task at hand. See how practical our rishis are. They never said that you should not eat, fast, you should grow beard, sit under a tree, go to forest. Nothing. They simply said this. Focus all your faculties at the task at hand. That is tapasya. That is tapaha. Ramanuja says, Krichra Chandrayana Dvadashyupavasadehe Bhagavat Prinana Karma Yogyatapadanasya Karanam. The scriptures enjoin certain performances. One should perform that. That is tapaha according to Ramanuja. Krichra Chandrayana, they are technical terms. It will take time to deal with that. Arjavam. The next Daivi Sampat, Arjavam. Rijutvam Sarvada, Shankara. Straightforwardness at all times. Ramanuja says, Manovakaya karma vrittinam ekanishtata pareshu. Manaha, mind, vak, speech, kaya, body, physical. All these should be in one line. You think one, speak something else and act in some other way. That is known as crookedness. If all these fall in one line, that is arjavam. Ahimsa, next. Ahimsa, non-injury. Ahimsanam praninam pida varjanam. Abstaining from giving pain to creatures, Shankara. Ramanuja also says the same thing. Parapida varjanam. Well, But here we have a very interesting input from Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda says something very relevant to us. Ahimsa means what? An ant is going there, I will not hit that. Is it ahimsa? It is not so childish. Swamiji says, resist all evils, mental and physical. And when you have succeeded in resisting, then will come calmness. Resist. The point is this: if someone offends you, hits you, what will be your response to him? Swamiji says, hit him back first. Don't say aham ahimsa. Stupid. That is not Swami Vivekananda's way. First hit him back. You will be able to attain the higher stage later. That only a Buddha can do, Ramakrishna can do, Swami Vivekananda can do. Even when hurt, you will not feel any evil thought towards that person and you will not suffer within. Have we attained that stage? Nowhere. So the first stage of ahimsa is not to commit himsa to yourself. Second stage will be you protect yourself and protect others also. Can't you do that much? You can do that. But first is you should protect yourself first. Are you safe? Next with others. Third and the ultimate step will come, even when you have been hurt, you will not hurt others. That will come much later. This is a wonderful insight that we get from Swami Vivekananda, the modern Rishi, the Acharya of this age. He has given this Veda to us. Next, Satyam, truthfulness. Acharya Shankara says, Apriyanrita varjitam yatha bhutartha vachanam. Speaking of things as they are, without unpleasantness and prevarication. S with capital. How can householders perform this? Swamiji gives a very good insight. I'll skip that. You can read that in the Karma Yoga. We'll go to the next one. Shantihi. Control of the internal organ. Antakaranasya upashamaha. Ramanuja says, Indriyanam Vishaya Pravanya Nirodha Samshilanam. Indriya should be drawn back from their objects, sense objects. That is to be practiced. Samshilanam means proper practice. Apaishunam, next, absence of vilification. Apishunat, Shankara says, Apishunata parasmai pararandhra prakatikaranam paishunam tadabhavaha apaishunam. What does it mean? Paishunam means backbiting. You go to some other person and speak about the faults of the third person to him. That is paishunam. That should not be done. That is apaishunam. Ramanuja says, para anartha vakya nivedana akaranam. Don't speak that which will bring harm to others. Daya. We came fast because here we have a very good input from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. That is important for us. Daya. Kindness to creatures. Shankara says, kripa bhuteshu dukkhiteshu. Dukkhiteshu bhuteshu kripa. Those who are in dukkha, misery, for them we should have some mercy or compassion or kindness. Ramanuja says, Sarveshu dukkha asahishnutvam. You are unable to bear the misery of anyone. That is para sarveshu dukkha asahishnutvam. Well, but when we hear to this word daya, there is an important lesson we should learn from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The context is like this. One day in the year 1884, Sri Ramakrishna was explaining to his devotees the quintessence of Vaishnava faith, Vaishnava Mata. But in the Vaishnava religion, there is a very important saying which catches the entire Vaishnava philosophy into a few words. What is it? Name ruchi, jive daya, Vaishnava seva. Bhagavan Ramakrishna was speaking on this. Ramakrishna says, this religion advises its Bhagavan Ramakrishna says, compassion for all living beings. Once he said this, he was just relating what is already there in the Vaishnava Mata. He was talking to the devotees. Once he mentioned this, he suddenly went into samadhi. After some time, he came down to a semi-ecstatic state and said, compassion for all beings? How foolish to speak of compassion. Human beings are as insignificant as worms crawling on the earth, and to show compassion to others, that is absurd. It must not be compassion, but service to all. Recognize all as manifestations of God and serve them as such. Swamiji explained this. Swamiji, when he was in Narendra still, Swamiji happened to be among the devotees at one point of time. He was the only person who understood the far-reaching significance of masters, that is Sri Ramakrishna's words. Swamiji exclaimed later on, what a wonderful light I saw today in those words of the master. How beautifully did he reconcile the simple, sweet and refreshing ideal of devotion with the knowledge of Vedanta. When the master said today in his ecstatic mood, it is very clear, one can bring Vedanta from the forest to the home and practice it in daily life. People become pure as they serve all beings as God, and soon they will experience themselves as parts of the blissful God. That is why Swamiji said, Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. Thakur said this. Not Daya, but Seva. This is an important message from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and Swamiji, and of course from Mother. Aloluptvam, non-covetousness, next to Daivi Sampat. What does it mean? Absence of excitement of the organs in the presence of objects. Shankara says this. Indriyanam Vishaya Sannidhau Avikriya. Ramanuja also. Vishayeshu Nisprihatvam Ityartha. We should not have that attraction towards the sense objects. We have a very good shloka from Kumara Sambhava of Kalidasa. He says, while he is explaining about the firmly established mind of Shiva in the Atman, he says this. Vikara hetau sati vikriyante yeshan na chetam sitayeva dhiraha. Vikara hetau sati. There should be a cause for provocation and distraction, and you should not get distracted. That he is a dhira. Nothing is there, you are in the forest and you are so sattvic, good for nothing. Mardavam is gentleness. Mriduta, akrauryam, Shankara, absence of hard-heartedness. Ramanuja also says something similar. Akathinyam, sadhujana samshlesharhata ityarthaha. That is an added speciality. He says, Mardavam means gentleness that will make you fit to move about with sadhus. Sadhujana samshlesha arhata. If you are too harsh, sadhus will avoid you from a distance. No, we want to be with those people who are of the highest culture, highly refined culture. That will come only then when we also try to follow that. Hrihi, modesty, lajja. Ramanuja says, akarya karane vrida. Shankara said lajja. Ramanuja says, akarya karane vrida. Hesitation in doing things which should not be done. That means before committing some mistake, he will falter, he feels diffident, he would not feel enthusiastic to do that. That means the qualms in the mind. Those who have no qualms at all, they cannot practice this divine quality. With this, I will close today's talk. There are some more. Some other time, actually we have 26 qualities, we have covered 19. Some other time, we may discuss, you may read it in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. May all of us pray to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharada Devi and Swami Vivekananda, that we will also gain the strength and succor needed to practice these divine qualities in our life. Jai Ram Krishna.
We are very much thankful to Swami Japasiddhanandaji Maharaj for his scholarly presentation on a very important topic in the Bhagavad Gita, the divine attributes, the Daivi Sampat described in Bhagavad Gita, and he has explained this very pertinent teaching of Lord Krishna in the light of teachings of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. On the behalf of the Ramakrishna Mat, Basavangudi, Bangalore, and on behalf of all of you, I heartfully thank Swamiji for having come over to Bangalore and has given this special lecture. Thank you very much, Swamiji. Priyatam Pundari Kakshaha Sarvayajneshwaro Harihi Tasmin Tushte Jagatushtam Prinite Prinitam Jagat Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.